imagine hovering on the sea waves while chilling on the deck of a cruise? Well, who wouldn't like that? But it was not the same for the prisoners of war being transported on a ship named SS Montevideo Maru by the Japanese army during World War II. The ship had about 1,060 prisoners of war, out of which about 815 were of Australian descent. Unwary of the situation, the vessel was attacked and sunk by an American submarine, USS Sturgeon, near the Philippine coast, killing all of the prisoners of war. The shipwreck was lost to humans until to be found recently by the Australian Armed Forces. So what exactly happened that day? And what was the history of this ship? Hello and welcome to our channel In Depth. Today we are going to analyze the Japanese transport ship Montevideo Maru and its sad demise. The Montevideo Maru was once a simple Japanese freighter sailing the seas between South America and Japan. But in 1942, the ship became remembered for its tragic role in World War II. The Second World War was raging across the globe, and in the Pacific, the Imperial Japanese Army was expanding its reach. One of their targets was Rabaul, a port town on the island of New Britain in present-day Papua New Guinea. On January 23, 1942, the Japanese launched an assault on Rabaul, which was defended by Australian and British troops. The battle lasted for 3 days before the defenders surrendered. Over 1,000 Australian and British prisoners of war were taken by the Japanese, who transported them to various locations across the Pacific. One such location was Hainan Island off the southern coast of China, where the prisoners were to be used as forced labor. The Japanese military commandeered the Montevideo Maru, which had been docked in Rabaul, to transport the prisoners to Hainan. The ship was not equipped to carry passengers, much less prisoners, and the prisoners of war were crammed into the cargo holds without proper food, water, or sanitation. On July 1st of 1942, the Montevideo Maru set sail from Rabaul, carrying over 1,000 Australian and British prisoners along with a small crew of Japanese sailors. The ship was unmarked, not displaying any flags or symbols indicating that it was carrying prisoners. The journey was treacherous, as the Montevideo Maru had to navigate through the Coral Sea, which was heavily patrolled by Allied submarines. The crew of the Montevideo Maru was aware of the danger and took precautions, including sailing at night and zigzagging to avoid detection. But on the night of July 1st of 1942, the Montevideo Maru was detected by the American submarine USS Sturgeon. The Sturgeon fired a single torpedo at the Montevideo Maru, which hit the ship's engine room, causing the ship to sink within minutes. The Japanese crew members of the Montevideo Maru was able to escape in lifeboats, but none of the prisoners of war were able to make it out alive. The ship had sunk too quickly and the cargo holds were locked, preventing the prisoners from escaping. It is estimated that around 1,053 prisoners of war died in the sinking of the Montevideo Maru, making it the largest loss of Australian lives in a single maritime disaster. The news of the sinking of the Montevideo Maru was devastating for the families of the prisoners, who had no idea that their loved ones had been aboard the ship. The Australian government was criticised for its lack of transparency and communication regarding the fate of the prisoners, leading to further anguish for the families. In the years that followed, the sinking of the Montevideo Maru became a symbol of the horrors of war and the tragedy of loss. The families of the prisoners fought for recognition and remembrance, and the sinking became a part of Australia's national memory. Today, the sinking of the Montevideo Maru is remembered on July 1st each year, known as Montevideo Maru Day. The day is a solemn occasion, a time to reflect on the sacrifice of the prisoners of war who lost their lives in the sinking, and reminder of the need to remember the victims of war. The search for the shipwreck continued for decades, and finally it was found on 6th April of this year in the South China Sea at a depth of about 4,000 meters by the Australian authorities, which were composed of deep-sea specialists and members of the Australian Armed Forces. It then took several days to verify the wreck using expert analysis from maritime archaeologists, conservators, and other specialists, including ex-naval officers. The sinking of Montevideo Maru reflects on the topic how wars affect the lives of people and how a simple mistake from either side may lead to loss of hundreds or even thousands of innocent lives. If you find this video informative, don't forget to subscribe to In Depth. Thank you for watching.